Hi everyone, so today I wanted to rant a little bit about this subject of curly hair and how truly not everyone is most flattered by curly hair. Not everyone is most flattered by straight hair. I have another video called Why You Are at War with Your Hair that if you like this video, you should also watch that one. And there I go more in depth about the bone structures that are flattered by curly hair or tousled hair and the bone structures that are flattered by straight hair or wavy hair. And all of my sort of like knowledge about this subject comes from the experience that I've had as an image consultant. And so that's what I do. Okay, so I offer consulting through my website, and I tell people, I help people figure out, their best lines, their most flattering silhouettes, their most flattering colors, and things like that. And through the years, I have just found it to be very unfair in a way to continue this dialogue that your natural hair texture, whatever it is the most flattering on you. I just think that that's unfair because it's dishonest and it's not true. Just like sometimes your natural nose is not like the most flattering, and some people have really carefully done plastic surgery, very carefully done cosmetic work that makes them look better. They're happier for it, they're more beautiful for it, and everything is just better. And in the same way, people wear makeup, and people wear makeup because hopefully after you put on your makeup, you look better, not worse. That's the point of makeup. And makeup is not very natural. And some people do their hair and they heat style their hair, or they perm their hair, and they look better for it. And sometimes, of course, some people do their makeup and they look worse for it, or they heat style their hair and they look worse for it. Or they get cosmetic work, of course, and sometimes cosmetic work can be very unsuccessful. And that's a whole other subject, because if you're going to get cosmetic work, it really makes sense to know your body type, to know your color type, to know your facial features, to know what kind of cosmetic work would work for you and what kind would not. But that's a whole other subject. Cosmetic work is a bit more tricky. In terms of hair texture, I'm going to start out talking about some people, like a lot of people in like the Nordic regions. They are really tall, they have really prominent bone structure, and they have sometimes they look like models. They have like that width to their shoulders, and then they have like straight lines to them and long lines, and they're tall, like the tall blonde kind of stereotype. And sometimes these people have really fine hair, and that fine hair does not work with their bone structure, because with that kind of prominent bone structure and like the tall look and the lean look and everything, you want to have big tousled hair, kind of like Julia Roberts. And so these are people who their hair doesn't really match their bone structure. Likewise, sometimes people who are more moderate in their bone structure and they have more of a moderate physique, they are not flattered by curly tousled hair. And they have to really style their hair very carefully for it to work as curly hair. And it's not that it's impossible to make curly hair work for certain bone structure types or certain body types. It's just that ultimately more heat styled and more processed hair can sometimes look better on certain bone structures. So if you are someone who struggles with this a lot, that may be your situation. Now, I want to talk about why it's just frustrating to me, because there's another layer to this that I feel like people with curly hair have to deal with that people with straight hair do not. And that layer is that when someone with straight hair doesn't like their hair, they just get a perm and they curl their hair. They get a perm to get their hair super curly. And that's completely acceptable. No one tells them, you're not accepting yourself. That's not self-loving. People with blonde hair, naturally light hair, will dye their hair darker, and no one tells them, you're not accepting your ethnicity, you're not accepting who you are by dyeing your hair, you're not accepting who you are by straightening your hair. But when someone who is not I'm just going to say it, someone who's not white presenting has curly hair and wants to straighten it, all of a sudden it's like this whole thing, like you're just a part of this entire huge thing that you have to be, you have to wear your hair curly, or you're not in line with self-love. You have to wear your hair curly, or you just are not accepting of how you actually look. You can't dye your hair blonde or lighter or something because you're not accepting how you actually look. When people with lighter features, they just have the freedom to like do whatever they want. If they have curly hair and they don't like it, they just straighten it, and nobody says anything to them. And how many times are people with like fine hair, thin, fine blonde hair, getting extensions to just thicken their hair? And how many times are they putting texturizer in their hair and tousling it and putting extensions in to make it thicker and fuller? And no one's saying, you're not accepting your hair. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares. It's just something that it seems like some people have the freedom to do without criticism, and other people don't. And that's what I don't like. And that's what I'm kind of like here to rant about a little bit, because, that's the thing, is that sometimes your natural hair texture just doesn't resonate with you. Even if it does look good on you, you just want to change it. You should be able to change it however you want. It's not like some huge self-love journey. Just do your hair how you like to do your hair. Just do it however you like. Do it however it looks good on you. And it's really not always about this like extensive discussion. And sometimes it seems that people with curly hair are placed in this position unfairly, that it's like something about accepting how you look. But again, people with straight hair, they curl their hair all the time, and nobody tells them you're not accepting your straight hair because you're curling your hair. Nobody even thinks about that. So I don't think that's fair. And having worked with people, and I just want everybody to have the freedom to just express themselves how they want to express themselves, to do whatever they feel looks best on them, and to let go of these notions of like, I have to do this a certain way, or I'm not like being true to myself or something. Like, to me, how you look is more like a canvas for self-expression. So it doesn't always make sense when there is this like undercurrent of pressure on people with curly hair to wear their hair curly, or accept their curly hair, or like they don't accept their curly hair if they are straightening it or are heat styling it in some way. And I don't really like that, because I don't think that's fair. I think if everybody, like if it were more equal, like everybody had to accept their natural hair texture, like all the blondes with the really fine blonde hair were told like, you really, shouldn't be putting extensions in your hair to thicken it, or texturizer in your hair. That's not right. You should just accept your fine hair, I mean, I guess that would be kind of fair, but I wouldn't want that either. I'd rather just everybody do whatever they want to their hair. I'd rather everybody just wear their hair however they want, without all of these undercurrents of like these huge, almost like social issues coming up with everything that people choose to do with their appearance, especially people who are not white presenting. Whenever anybody who's not white presenting chooses to do something with their appearance, everyone's like all about it. It's like, it's always some sort of statement. And I don't think that that's fair. I think that's too much pressure to put on anyone. It's not always about that. It's about just what you like to look like. It's not an entire thing. It's not an entire statement. It's not some deep thing. It's not some journey of this or journey of that. Sometimes you just want to do your hair how you want to do your hair. So I hope that if somebody needed to hear this, and you want to do your hair however you want to do it, if you want to wear it curly, if it's actually curly, if you want to wear it straight, if it's actually straight, if you want to straighten it when it's curly, if you want to curl it when it's straight, just do it. This is hopefully a little droplet of validation and, validation that you need to just do what you want with your hair. I hope that you go forth and do whatever you want, instead of, doing all this weird stuff, like just having to, I don't know, do all this weird stuff. I don't think you should have to do that. You should just do what looks best on you, what you feel looks best on you, what is beautiful on you, what makes you feel beautiful. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a rant. This is just something, again, as an image consultant, I really feel like is so important to talk about, because everyone deserves to look their best, and everyone deserves to use all the tools that they want to use to look their best. And to get sidetracked into like almost like guilt tripping people, or like telling them, you have to do things a certain way, or you're not being true to yourself, or all this stuff. You're being true to yourself if you are looking how you want to look. That's how you are being true to yourself. So that's my philosophy. That's what I believe in. That's about it. If you're interested in booking with me, you can take a look at the links below to see how you can book a service with me. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you next time. Okay, bye.